Eugenie Sage.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker, thank you. The Green Party is pleased to be supporting to Select Committee the Hurunui Kaikōura Earthquake Recovery Bill. I agree with the Minister. This bill is no small thing because of the major increase in ministerial and executive powers which it allows. And the Green Party has long been vigilant about increases in executive power because of our desire to protect local democracy and ensure that people who are affected by the decisions actually have a say in those decisions. And it's a key part of recovery that people are involved in decisions about the recovery. So this bill, in allowing ministers through Orders in Council to override more than 45 pieces of primary legislation without the benefit of Select Committee scrutiny, without the benefit of submissions to Select Committee and consideration of those submissions by the committee, is a major law change. And we have been quite critical of the Canterbury legislation because of the way not so much the Orders in Council were exercised under that legislation, but the substantial powers that were given to the Canterbury Earthquake Recovery Authority, CERA, and the way in which decisions were generally made behind closed doors with people not knowing who was making the decision, whether any of the comments that they had made in written submissions were taken any heed of, and with no ability to actually front up and have their say in front of the person making the decision. And we've seen this week with the other bill in terms of the emergency powers and the extended timeframes around the RMA and the Kaikōura Harbour, the value of even having a short Select Committee process and having people front up. So we are proceeding with considerable caution and will be engaging very carefully with the Select Committee process in terms of the wide range of bills that are in the schedule. There are bills like the Resource Management Act, the Conservation Act, the Marine Mammals Act, the Reserves Act, wanting to understand a little better why officials consider that bills like the Marine Mammals Act need to be part of that schedule and potentially able to be overridden by Orders in Council. Because, Mr Speaker, this bill covers a very large area. My reading of it is that there is other aftershocks which affect the Wellington region as a result of the Kaikōura sequence or as part of that, then Wellington could also be covered by Orders in Council which are made under the bill. We are pleased that the concerns that constitutional lawyers and others raised about the post-Canterbury earthquake legislation have been recognised, and that there are additional safeguards in this bill around the powers of the ministers through Order in Council. Through the ability of the Regulations Review Committee to disallow Orders in Council, but that committee of course needs to be expanded to ensure that there is wider representation from across the Parliament. For the Minister to publish reasons for his or her decision, and for the review panel, and agree with other speakers who have suggested that the review panel needs to be chaired by a judge or former judge rather than just a lawyer. So, Mr Speaker, I listened closely to the Minister's speech when he said that the Orders in Council and the way in which activities happen under those they'll have to be done responsibly without any opportunistic behaviour. If there are increased powers given to local authorities, for example, or infrastructure and network utility operators, we are really concerned that the tendency often with major natural disasters is the shock and awe after the event means that people are prepared to let things go a little more, and that given that Kaikōura has led the country in making its natural environment and its spectacular coast a core part of its brand and its tourism industry, we want to make sure that that legacy is not in any way placed at risk by short-term thinking that may occur in emergency situations. So we are supporting the bill. We'll be looking to see what further safeguards can be added to it, but we recognise that governments post-emergency do need to make decisions quickly, but those decisions should always be made thoughtfully and with a view to the longer term. Thank you.